Hello students, good morning. Today is the second session for class 6th, SST Geography. Our chapter is again chapter 1, the Earth in the Solar System, part 2. Okay, so take the notebook and a pencil and sit down so that we could start the chapter. Okay, so now moving to the contents. Okay, before moving to the contents of part 2, that is our second class, let's revise or remember what we had learned in part 1 content. Our part 1 content was solar system and celestial bodies. Yes. Okay. And in today's class, we will learn about stars, constellations, POLESTAR and sun. As I had told you in the last class that our solar system is not so small. I had told you about some interesting facts about the solar system. Today, I will tell you some interesting facts about our sun. Okay? So, note down the contents once again for the today's section, for the today's class. It is stars, constellation, POLESTAR and sun. Written? Okay. Now, let's move to the chapter. Now, quickly revise about the solar system and the celestial bodies. Okay, a short summary about it. What was the solar system? The solar system is the gravitational bounding system of the sun and the objects. Okay, and when was the solar system formed? The solar system was formed 4.6 billion years ago. Okay, and now moving to the celestial bodies. Which are the celestial bodies? The celestial bodies are stars, planets, satellites, comets, asteroids, meteors and meteorites and galaxies. Okay, I had also told you that some celestial bodies are very big and hot. Okay, and the different celestial bodies, in that you can count the gas and the dust also. They also are some kind of objects that are found in the solar system. Okay, shall we move further now? Okay, so now moving to our main topic, that is the stars. Okay, today our first content is the stars. So, what are stars? Where do you see them? Yes, in the sky. When? At day. At day? No, na? Yes, at night. At the day, the sun, because of the sunlight, the stars are not visible. Okay, so we can see the stars at night. The stars are very big and very hot. They are made up of gases, different gases. Do you know the stars that twinkle at night? They have their own light and heat, which they emit in a large amount. Emit means they give out in a large amount. Okay? And the stars are countless. We can't count them. They cannot be counted. Okay? But the stars which we see in the night sky are similar to the sun, though they are very small. When we see from the earth, when we see the stars standing from our earth, we see that they are very small, but they are as similar to the sun. And why do they look so tiny? And as I have told you that they have their heat and light of their own, it is because they are very, very, very far from us. Because they are very, very far from us. Okay? So, here we have learned that the stars are very big and hot. They are made up of gases. They have their own heat and light. And they are similar to the sun. And they are tiny. We feel them tiny. We look them tiny because they are very, very, very far from us. Okay? Now to our next content, or you can say next topic. It is the constellation. It is a very interesting topic. Okay? So let's move to constellations. What are constellations? They are the group of stars that make an imaginary shape in the night sky. Have you ever tried to look in the sky at night and search the shape of the stars? There are different shapes, imaginary shapes, and you can say the group of stars in the sky. Okay? From which the small bear means it is also called Saptarishi. This constellation is known as Saptarishi or small bear. It is the most recognizable constellation in the sky. In the night sky, the small bear or Saptarishi constellation can easily be seen. In other names, you can call it as seven sages. Sapt. What is Sapt? Sapt means seven. Okay? And Rishi means sages. So, on combined word, it becomes seven stars. Saptarishi. Okay? And why is this constellation been given the name Saptarishi? Because it is the group of seven stars. I have shown you a picture. Just have a look on it. Did you see? Yes. That is Saptarishi constellation. And you can see it is made up of seven stars. Okay? So, this is the constellation. Now, do you know, you have heard the name constellation, but have you ever tried to know that how many constellations are there in the sky? No, you don't know? There are 88 constellations. How many constellations are there? 88 constellations. Okay? Now, I'll show you a clip. In that clip, you will see how was Saptarishi constellation formed and why. Okay? So, please have a look on it and try to understand. So, here is the clip. Please look at it and then I will talk about it.
Is the story of the Saptarishi constellation. It is believed that the seven stars are actually the seven sages in Hindu mythology. Our sky is full of stars and constellations, is the story. Only Arundhati, who was believed to be faithful, remained with Vashishta and followed him till the end.
So, have you seen how was the Saptarishi constellation formed? Okay. Now, as I have told you that there are 88 constellations in the sky. Okay. Now, do you know that there are some uses of this constellation? Now, we will move to the uses of the constellation. Okay. Now, the uses of the constellations are, the constellation are useful because they help the people to recognize stars in the sky. The first is, they help the people to recognize stars in the sky. Okay. And by looking at these shapes, size, or you can say the patterns of the stars, it is much easier to spot the location. It is much easier to spot the location. This is the first use of the constellation. Now, the constellation are being used since ancient time, from ancient time. They used to help to keep the track of the calendar. In olden days or in ancient times, you can say there were no calendars. Okay, so people used to know about it by looking at the stars, by looking at the constellations. Okay, this was very important for the people in the ancient times. Why did people look at the constellation and keep the track of the calendar? Because it was very important for them to know when to plant and when to harvest the crops. Because they did not have the calendar, so they were not aware about the, or you can say they did not know about the seasons, about the month. Okay. Now here, when we talk about some season, we know about it. As we say, okay, now it's December, means December it's going to be cold. Okay. So, how did we come to know? We came to know because of the calendar. But in ancient times, there were no calendars. So, people used to look at the constellation, use the constellation and keep the track of the calendar. Okay. Another important use of the constellation is navigation. Navigation means to travel through sail, means to sail through the ship. By finding Ursa Minor, it is fairly easy to spot the polestar. I'll explain you this in more detail in the polestar section. Okay, using the height of the North Star in the sky, the navigators could figure out their latitude, helping ships to travel across the oceans. When you travel in the sea, you are not aware of the directions. Okay, so the pole star helps you to know about the direction and you can sail easily. So these are the uses. Okay. about the constellations. Now some amazing facts, amazing or interesting facts about the constellation I'll tell you. Okay? Note down everything or listen very carefully. Okay? Now about the interesting facts of the constellation. Let me tell you, the largest constellation by area is Hydra. Okay? Listen carefully. The largest constellation in the sky by area is Hydra, which is 3.16% of the sky. Which is 3.16% of the sky. Okay? And the smallest constellation is Crux. C-R-U-X. Crux. Which only takes up 17% of the sky. 0.17%. I'm sorry. 0.17% of the sky. Okay? Now, the small patterns of the star within the constellation are called asteroids. The small patterns of the stars within the constellation means the constellation is there, but in that constellations there are still very small patterns. Such patterns are called asteroids. Okay, which includes the Big Dipper and the Small Dipper, Little Dipper you can say. Okay. Now, hearing it the word constellation, know that it is a group of stars. That is the definition, that the group of stars are called constellation. But what does the word constellation really mean? The word constellation is a Latin term. Okay. It comes from the Latin term and its meaning is set with stars. Its meaning is set with stars. Okay? Now, as I have told you, there are 88 constellations in the sky. From that, 22 different constellations have the name which starts from the letter C. Which starts from the letter C. There are 22 different constellation names in the solar system which have the name starting from letter C. Okay? How lovely the amazing facts are. Okay? We only try to know something small like solar system and only something like POLESTAR and this. But when we come to know about the detail of it, we'll like it. And we are amazed also because we didn't know about it before. Now I'll show you some pics of the constellation, okay, which are commonly seen, which you can commonly see. I'll tell you the name also, okay. Just go through it and look how do the stars in a group form a constellation. Now here is the picture of some constellations. The first picture is of Cassiopeia. Have a look at it. It forms a small W. Yes, but it is also one kind of a constellation. The picture below Cassiopeia is Cetus. It is Cetus. Look at the number of the stars which are forming Cetus. Now look at the third picture. The third picture is of what? What have you seen? Okay, it is Canis Major. It is Canis Major. And the below picture in the right side is the Orion. It is the Orion. So this is the picture. Fine. Some more pictures. In this, I'll show you some more pictures. Now in the next picture, it is the Ursa Major. Yes, the Saptarishi. Look at it carefully. It is a group of 7 stars. A basket and a handle. You can say it as a dipper. Okay. And next to it is the Capricornus. Capricornus. Look how is it a shape of a kite. Then is Lyra. And then the Scorpius. Have a look at all the constellations very carefully. Okay? Have you seen? Aren't they beautiful? Yes. Now stand at night today below the sky with your parents and tell them to search the constellations with you. If you see carefully in the sky, you will be able to see the constellations. You have seen the shapes and I have shown you in the pictures. So now it would be easy for you. Okay? So search and tell me which constellations were you able to find. Now to our next section, or you can say to the next content, that is the POLESTAR. We will discuss about the POLESTAR. We will learn about the POLESTAR. Now about the POLESTAR. In ancient times, people did not know about the directions. They were not able to determine. So what did they used to do? They used to take the help of the stars in the sky. Okay? Now, POLESTAR was the easiest for them to locate and to know the direction. The second is, POLESTAR is always seen in the north direction. So whenever you see the POLESTAR in the sky, you would easy to come to know you are standing in which direction. Means if you are seeing the POLESTAR, if you have seen the POLESTAR in the sky, the right to the north is east, the left to the north is west, okay, and to the front, here you can say to the front, the opposite side of the north is south. So the POLESTAR, looking at the POLESTAR, it is easy to determine the proper direction. Okay? Next, it is the brightest star in the sky. Easy to recognize. It never changes its position. It remains in the same position in the sky. It remains in the same position in the sky. Now, if you are not able to locate the POLESTAR in the sky, just imagine that if you are not able to recognize the POLESTAR, because you can see many of the stars, in that stars sometimes it is not possible for you to locate the POLESTAR or the position of the POLESTAR. Then the Saptarishi, the group of 7 stars, 7 sages, helps you to locate the position of the pole star. How? Look at the picture which I have given you on the screen, which is showing you. You can see the group of 7 stars, that is the, which is showing you the shape of the 7 stars. From that, the 2 front stars is in the straight line of the pole star. So if you are able to locate the 7 stars, or you can say the Saptarishi constellation in the sky, then the pole star is easy to be located. Okay, and the pole star also has a different name, or you can say has one more name. By the name you can say it is a North Star. Okay, now if, as I have told you verbally, that how can you locate the pole star, or how can you find the pole star, I'll show you a clip. Just look at it and then you will easily locate the pole star. Okay, let's see. Now look at the clip very carefully so that you can understand what has been explained in it. Okay, you'll come to know what has been explained in it and how could you find the pole star in the sky very easily. So let's have a look on the clip.
Over the millennia, this star has been called many names and has been currently the center of attention. Literally, Polaris is the brightest star of the constellation Ursa Minor and is a part of the Little Dipper asterism. It currently holds its position as the pole star as it is very close to the celestial North Pole. Thus, it was used to find directions mainly by sailors and still remains a pretty well-known star.
But why is knowing north so important?
First up, astronomical directions are given with respect to the North Pole. So if you are doing some object hunting, it's good to know where to look. Secondly, it would be a recommendable practice to have a starting point and then scan the skies from there. As in the northern hemisphere, the pole star never sets, it serves as a good starting point. So how do you find it? The asterism Big Dipper is located in the constellation Ursa Major, which revolves around Polaris close enough to stay in the sky for almost all the time. That is, the circumpolar. The time for it is practically visible depends on where you live. The Big Dipper is easily identifiable with its bright stars and its spoony shape. Once you find it, look for the end of the handle and then work your way to the connecting point and finally travel to the end, which is the flatter side of it. Here you will find 2 stars, Merak and Dubhe. See how the ladle seems to open upwards. Now extend the line joining Merak and Dubhe and you would land upon Polaris. That was easy enough. But it might be possible that Ursa Major has set or has not risen yet. So what do you do then? Well, the Queen works for you here. Now scan the sky for a distinctive M shape. It's an M with a little pesky 6 stars stuck in, but it's ignorable. So this constellation is Cassiopeia, and this asterism is often referred to as a crown, or the W, or an M. So how does it help us? Well, it has 2 bends. Look for the one that makes a larger angle. It's this one. Now trisect this angle, that is, cut it into 3 parts. You get 2 trisectors. The one on the inner side of the asterism lands on a faint star. Ignore it. The second trisector lands on an acceptably brighter star. That would be Polaris. Great work that you've now found it. But what if you can't see these constellations? Imagine it's cloudy all over, overcast, and suddenly a patch of sky clears and you see a little star peeking out. You bet your friend a few moon pies. It's Polaris, but he denies it. You now regret not downloading the star chart application on your phone. But anyway, your phone has a built-in compass. Or you have a bar magnet in your pocket, which is highly unlikely. But by the time you get it out, the clouds have swallowed the star again. And you don't quite remember where it was. So, how do you do it? First, find where north is. In order to do so, keep your phone parallel to the horizon, or you could suspend a bar magnet by a thread and wait for it to align. Now, starting from the edge of the horizon, extend your arm full in the front while keeping your fist clenched this way. Now, before you continue, make sure you know the latitude of where you are. Ready? Each fist measures 10 degrees. Now, put the other fist on the top of the previous one and keep on adding it. Plus, you can approximate less than 10 degrees. Now, you have found the point where Polaris might be. Plus minus 2 or 3 degrees. A word of caution though, make sure to keep your hand steady. Now that you have found Polaris, don't just go on hunting other constellations and deep sky objects. If you have a telescope, even one of an acceptable size, you can actually see a faint white dwarf companion. And even if you don't have one, take a good look at it. It won't be the POLESTAR forever.
Now, thank you for watching the clip. By this, you must have understood that how can you find the POLESTAR. Wasn't it easy and interesting? Now let us know about our sun. Now we will talk about our sun. We only know till now that it gives us heat and light. But now more about it. Something now about our sun. The first thing we know about the sun is it is the center of the solar system. It is the center of the solar system. Next, the sun is the huge and made up of extremely hot gases. The sun is very huge. From the earth you can see only a small size. But when really you look at it, it is huge in size. And it is made up of extremely hot gases. Next, it is the ultimate source of heat and light. The light and heat which we get on the earth is from the sun. Because I have told you that the planets do not have the light and heat of their own. Whatever light and heat they receive from the sun. So, the ultimate source of heat and light for the solar system is the sun. And how far, or you can say how many kilometers away is the sun from the earth? So it is 150 millions away from the sun. 150 million kilometers away from the earth. The sun is 150 million kilometer away from the earth. Okay. Now what did I say about the sun? Have you noted down? I repeat once more. It is the center of the solar system. It is very huge. It is made up of extremely hot gases. It is the ultimate source of heat and light for the solar system, and it is about 150 million kilometers away from the earth. Noted? Now next, I'll again show you a clip about the sun. Okay? Why it is so hot and everything. So have a look at the clip with me. So now we will have a look at the clip. Please watch very carefully.
While billions of stars are scattered throughout the universe,
the one at the center of our solar system, plays a special role for us here on Earth. Our Sun formed about 4.5 billion years ago in the Milky Way galaxy's Orion Spur. It was born when a cloud of dust and gas, known as a solar nebula, collapsed, and in the middle of this formation, matter condensed into a burning ball of gas that became our Sun. The Sun's fiery nature, along with a tremendous gravitational pull and an extensive magnetic field, helped it to become the heart of our solar system. The Sun can be divided into 6 layers or regions: the corona, the chromosphere, the photosphere, the convective and radiative zones, and the core. In terms of atom count, the Sun is about 91% hydrogen, the Sun's fuel, 8.9% helium, and 0.1% heavier elements, such as carbon and nitrogen. Due to the Sun's extreme temperatures, these elements stay in a gas-like phase called plasma. In the core, temperatures reaching at least 27 million degrees Fahrenheit, combined with the Sun's powerful gravity, fuse together hydrogen molecules to create helium. Called thermonuclear fusion, this releases an enormous amount of energy in the form of radiation, electricity, solar wind, and, as we experience on Earth, life-giving heat and light. Such volatility is contained thanks to the Sun's tremendous gravity. It's strong enough to hold the solar system intact and is primarily due to the Sun's size and mass. Our Sun is the largest and most massive object in the solar system. It's more than 100 Earths wide and could theoretically fit all 8 planets inside nearly 600 times. It also contains approximately 99.8% of all the mass in the solar system. Because of this mass, the Sun has a great pull on the fabric of space, creating a gravitational force that causes nearby planetary bodies to be drawn toward it. This gravitational pull allows the Sun to hold together a system of 8 planets, potentially dozens of dwarf planets, at least 170 moons, and countless comets and asteroids. Without the Sun's gravity, these celestial bodies would drift off into deep space. Another critical property of the Sun is its magnetic field, which encapsulates the entire solar system. Called the heliosphere, this force field protects the planets from harmful cosmic radiation. It's caused by the Sun's plasma pushing electrically charged particles toward the star's poles. This process turns the Sun into a giant magnet. Although the Sun's magnetic field is invisible to the naked eye, its effects are noticeable. On the Sun's surface are dark areas called sunspots, which mark strong pockets of magnetism. On Earth and on some of the other planets, the Sun's magnetic field interacts with their atmospheres, resulting in beautiful auroras. Despite its size and strength, the Sun will not last forever. In about 6.5 billion years, it will run out of its hydrogen fuel, expand to envelop Mercury, Venus, and even Earth, and then collapse into a small star known as a white dwarf. In the meantime, the Sun will continue to play a critical role in the system that bears its name. The Sun's protective magnetic field, tremendous gravitational pull, and ability to create vast amounts of energy will protect, contain, and give life to our solar system.
So, have you seen about the Sun? Okay. Now some interesting facts about the Sun. Okay, let's take a look on it. Now some amazing facts about the Sun. The sun accounts for 99.86% of the mass in the solar system. I repeat again. The sun accounts for 99.86% of the mass in the solar system. It means you can say it has the mass of around 330,000 times that of the earth. It is 3/4 of hydrogen. The sun is 3/4 of hydrogen, and the remaining part or most of the part is of helium. So this is the first fact. The second fact, you all know that the sun is so huge that you can fit 1 million, over 1 million earth inside the sun. Or you can say as over 1 million earths could fit inside the sun. More if I elaborate or more if I explain, you can take it as if you were to fill a hollow sun with the spherical earths, with the round earths, okay, you could have filled it with something around 960,000 into it. Okay, but if you squashed means if you have pressed and if you would have tried to fill more earths in it, then you could fit 1 million earths inside it, more than 1 million earths. The surface area of the sun. Now what is the surface area of the sun? The surface area of the sun is 11,990 times that of the earth. 11,990 times that of the earth. Now one more fact about this is, one day the sun will consume the earth. How? The sun will continue to burn for about 130 million years. Okay? Now if it burns through all of its hydrogen instead of burning the helium, then during this time it will expand. Expand means it will grow big and expand to such a size that it will first engulf. Engulf means you can say like it will eat up. Okay, it will engulf Mercury first because it is the nearest to the sun, then the Venus, and then the Earth. Means Earth is on the third number. So then it will engulf the Earth. So it is been said that one day the Earth will be consumed by the sun. And when the sun will reach this point means when it will burn all its hydrogen instead of helium and expand, then it will become a red giant star. It will become a red giant star. Our next fact is the energy created by the sun's core is nuclear fusion. Means this huge amount of energy is produced when 4 hydrogen nuclei are combined into one helium nucleus. When it is combined into one helium nucleus. Okay. Next, while discussing about the shape of the earth, I told you that the shape of the earth is not actual round, actual circle. Okay, but the sun is almost a perfect sphere. Sphere means round ball, a perfect round. Okay. Considering the sheer size of the sun, there is only a 10-kilometer difference in its polar and equatorial diameters. This makes it the closest thing of the perfect sphere when observed from the nature. When you see it from the earth, when you are standing on the land, when you are standing at the top of your house, at the terrace of your house, and you try to look at the sun, do you see any difference in its shape? No. It's perfectly round. Okay. And last but not the least, because there are many interesting facts about the solar system, space and the sun. The last fact of today's about the sun is traveling at 220 kilometers per second. Did you know about it? No? Then now you will know it. That the sun is traveling at 220 kilometers per second. It is round 24,000 to 26,000 light years. It is around 24,000 to 26,000 light years from the galactic center. It takes the sun approximately 225 to 250 million years to complete one orbit of the center of the Milky Way. But the sun travels 220 kilometers per second. This is the speed of the sun. So I hope you all like the interesting facts about the sun which I have told you today. Moving on, today is the exercise. Because this exercise is also needed because how much you have understood in today's section. How much you have understood in today's section. Okay, so note down the exercise. Now the first question for today is, name any one constellation. I had shown you many constellations. From that, you have to name only one. Let me see how many of you remember. Okay. Next is, what are constellations? I had explained you this in part 1 also and in today's session also. What are constellations? Constellations are the group of stars, or you can say they are the pattern of the stars, imaginary shape. So in full you can write a group of stars that makes an imaginary shape in the night sky. The group of stars that make an imaginary shape in the night sky. Next is, do the stars have the light and the heat of their own? Try to remember. I had told you that the planets do not have the heat and light of their own, but the stars have their own heat and light, and they emit that heat and energy every time. Okay? And the last is, why is constellation Saptarishi called so? It means, why is Saptarishi constellation called by its name Saptarishi? What is the answer? Yes, because it is the group of 7 stars, in which Sapta means 7 and Rishi means sages. Okay? So these are the question answers for today. Just note them down and learn it. I repeat the questions again. Name any one constellation. Next, what are constellations? Next, do the stars have the heat and light of their own? Next, why is constellation of Saptarishi called so? Okay? So, I hope you all liked today's session. In the next session, we will see about the Earth, about the planets and about our universe. That will be the third part of this lesson. Okay? And also about the phases of the moon. So, till then, have a nice time. Please take care.